Radio check. The pit lane speed limit is 72 kilometers per hour. Okay, Dennis, we've got 2 laps. Let's get this done. The track temp's increasing. It's now 34 Celsius. Mind these track limits, please, Dennis. The leader has just done a 108.56. The leader has just done a 107.93. New fastest lap for Matson, 107.79. That's the end of the session, P17. Car number 8. Okay, Dennis. We should do okay here. We're aiming to finish in the top 12.
That's okay. Nothing. Not bad at all. I don't even remember what I did, but that's really not bad at all. How did it feel overall? Yeah, I could have gotten sub 19, but
Rolling start. Get ready. We need to follow car number 22.
but I didn't have a lot more in it, to be honest. I don't think. Maybe once. I don't know.
The safety car speed is 87 kilometers per hour.
Did you move the brake bias back a little bit? How far? Oh, yeah, I did it by the dash, so I don't know what it is. What was the starting point? Did you see that? Okay, so you lowered it even more than me. Although I did only do a couple of laps, so maybe after that it would have gotten a little understeery, but I think it's better to have something understeery than... Yeah, 52.8 makes sense. It's better to have something understeery than whatever the other setup was.
We need to catch car number 22. Okay, Dennis, nice and neat, stay out of trouble. Go, nail it! On your left. Clear left. Left side. Still there, clear left. Left side. Still there. Clear left side, clear left. Nice start.
No.
P11.
I might, the only one I might be able to do is Sunday, and I'm still not sure.
Sector 1 time was good. Sector 2 time is okay. The leader's just done a 109.00.
No, there's a time slot on Sunday.
P11, that lap was at 110.37. Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace. The track temperature's decreasing. It's now 31 Celsius. Alright Dennis, you need to pass this track, you're losing too much time. Okay mate, watch for a mistake. The leader has just done a 108.90. Come on, we need to be in front of this guy. just done a 110.17. That's your quickest lap in this session. Sector 3 is 0.8 off the pace. Come clear left. Okay, Dennis, keep piling on the pressure. He'll make a mistake.
There's a time slot on Sunday. Sunday, 5 GMT or something?
Sector 2 is 0.8 off the pace.
Probably because it's not in
mistake.
less than 24 hours.
Stay close, see if we can unsettle him. That lap time was 1:11.28. Sector 1 is 1.1 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.8 off the pace. Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace. Okay, Dennis, this bastard's holding you up. You've got to find a way past. Car left. Still there. Still there. Clear left. P10, that lap was at 110.72. Sector 2 is 0.8 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.6 off the pace. The gap to Brit ahead is increasing. It's now 1.1 seconds. The gap in front is now 0.9. That was 110.00. That's your fastest lap today. Sector 2 is 0.45 off the pace. You're reeling E9 in. The gap is 0.7. Okay, Dennis, you're reeling Brit in. The gap is now 0.6. Sector 2's 0.2 off the pace. That was a 109.43. It's your best lap in this session. Tim is pitting from position 23. We think he'll come out close in front. Keep the pressure on, don't give him a break. You've just done a 109.95. Alright Dennis, stay close, wait for him to make a mistake. Sector 1 is 0.5 off the pace. There's an incident in Thunder Valley. Looks like it's Tim. You're just gonna have to send it, mate. Don't wait too long, find that gap. Your last lap time was at 110.00. Sector 3 is 0.46 off the pace. Come on, find the gap. Sector 1 is 0.36 off the pace. The gap to Brit ahead is now 0.9, 10th position. You're 2/10 off the pace in Sector 2. The gap to Brit in front is now 0.8. You've just done a 110.22. You're reeling Brit in. The gap's now 0.7. You're 2/10 off the pace in Sector 1. The gap to Brit ahead is now 0.7. Sector 2 is 0.42 off the pace. Car left, clear left. Nice one, Dennis. Great move. Keep it up. P9. That lap was at 110.01. The car in front of us is now Sights, car number 3. behind is now 1.3. That lap time was 109.84. Good consistency. Keep them coming. Sector 3 is 0.36 off the pace. The active 10th position. Behind is now 1.7 seconds. The gap to P10 behind is now 1.1 seconds. The gap to Brits behind is now 1.2. Okay, Dennis, you've used half your fuel. The gap to Brits behind is now 1.1 seconds. The gap to Brits behind is now 0.9. Brits is getting closer. The gap is now 0.7. Quicker than you entering keyhole. That last lap was at 110.45. Sector 3 is 0.8 off the pace. Tenth position. It's getting closer. The gap's now 0.8. The gap behind is now 0.9. The gap behind is now 1.0 seconds. The lap time was at 109.82. The track temperature's rising. It's now 33 Celsius. Bijaran is pitting from P16. We think he'll come out just in front of you. The gap to Brits behind is now 1.2 seconds. The gap to Brits behind is increasing. It's now 1.1. P9. There's an incident in turn 1. You think it might be Bijaran? The gap behind is now 1.5 seconds. Your lap time was 109.68. Sector 1 is 0.35 off the pace. impact. Spitting from P16. You should come out a little way behind you. The gap behind is now 1.6. Gap to P10 behind is now 2.2 seconds. Sector 2 is 0.40 off the pace. Pablo, car number 9, is leading the race. The gap to Brits behind is increasing. It's now 2.4 seconds. That lap time was 109.81. The gap to 10th position behind is increasing. It's now 2.6 seconds. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 1. The gap to Brits behind is now 3.0. Your sector 2 time is quick. Okay, Dennis, you're reeling sights in. The gap is 2.8. That last light was at 109.56. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 3. You're reeling sights in. The gap's now 2.6 seconds. Sector 1 time's okay. The car in front is 1 lap behind. You're reeling sights in. The gap is now 2.4 seconds. Alright Dennis, there's a car exiting the pits, heads up. The gap in front is now 2.4. Rowden is now on primaries. That was 109.54. Sector 2 is 2/10 off the pace. Lap times are pretty consistent. The gap to sights ahead is now 2.2 seconds. P8, you've just done a 109.7 on your right. Right side's clear. The gap to sights in front is now 2.1. 7th position. In, the gap's now 1.9 seconds. Okay Dennis, you're reeling P7 in, the gap is 1.7. We estimate 4 laps fuel remaining. Your last lap time was at 109.73. Sector 1 is 0.25 off the pace. Osler is now on primaries. You're reeling sights in, the gap is now 1.6 seconds. You're 2 tenths off the pace in sector 1. Incident in the S's. It looks like Bertolo. You're reeling sights in, the gap's now 1.5. Sector 2's 2 tenths off the pace. The car in front of us is Bertolo, car number 5. Clear right, P5, 3 laps of fuel remaining. That lap time was 110.00. Sector 3 is 0.39 off the pace. Sights is now on primaries. Sector 1 is 0.6 off the pace. The track temperature is increasing. It's now 36 Celsius. Only 2 laps of fuel left. You've just done at 110.00. Sector 1 is 0.6 off the pace. The gap to V6 behind is now 1.0. Sector 1 is 0.31 off the pace. The car ahead is Marco, car number 7. The gap to Bertolo behind is now 1.3 seconds. The gap to Bertolo behind is increasing. It's now 1.5. You've only got enough fuel for this lap. That lap was at 109.55. The gap to Bertolo behind is increasing. It's now 1.5. Okay Dennis, the next car is 1 lap behind. The gap to P6 behind is now 1.7 seconds. Hit this lap, in this lap. Sector 2 time is good. The leader, Pablo, is pitting. There's a car leaving the pits. Marco ahead is pitting. Connor, watch your speed. Box in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now. Front left, 61%. Left rear, 65. Haskell is pitting from position 10. He should come out just in front of you. Britt is now on primaries. But clear left. We've got cold tyres, we need to get some heat into them. Car right. Clear right. E9. Car right. Still there. There's an incident in the S's. We think it might be Matson and Rowden. Right side's clear. Car left. Clear left. The guy in front is Sykes, car number 3. Okay, Dennis, your water temperature's creeping up. E7. Sector 1 is 0.30 off the pace. The gap to Bertolo behind is increasing. It's now 1.7 seconds. Your engine temperatures are looking better now. The gap behind is now 1.8 seconds. Sector 3 is 0.2 off the pace. You've just done a 110.21. You're reeling sights in. The gap is 2.1 seconds. Sector 1 is quick. Alright Dennis, you're reeling sights in. The gap is now 1.9. There's a car leaving the pit lane. You're reeling 6th place in. The gap's now 1.7. We're quickest at the moment. That lap was a 109.50. You're a 10th off the pace in sector 2. You're reeling sights in. The gap is 1.4 seconds. You're a 10th off the pace in sector 1. The gap ahead is now 1.3. Okay, Dennis, you're reeling E6 in. The gap is now 0.7. That was at 109.74. Sector 3 time is quick. The gap to sights ahead is now 0.7. The gap to sights ahead is now 0.39. Car right. Clear right. Your lap time was at 110.00. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 3. Nice one, mate. Sector 1 is 0.5 off the pace. That was at 109.91. Sector 1 is 0.5 off the pace. The gap to sights behind is increasing. It's now 1.2. Michael is entering the pits. He's in P18. We think he'll be close in front of you when he exits. The gap to sights behind is increasing. It's now 1.4 seconds. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 2. Okay, Dennis, the next car is Marco, car number 7. The gap to 7th position. Behind is increasing. It's now 1.7 seconds. Your lap time was 109.75. Osler, incident in keyhole. Looks like it's Pablo. That's good consistency. Keep it up. The gap behind is now 1.7 seconds. P5. Your lap time was 109.85. Sector 3 is a 10th off the pace. Sector 1 is 0.37 off the pace. The gap to sights behind is now 2.4 seconds. The gap to sights behind is now 2.2. That lap time was 1:10.21. Sector 3 is 0.5 off the pace. The gap to sights behind is now 2.2. Just done at 109.90. You're 2/10 off the pace in Sector 3. The track temperature is falling. It's now 33 Celsius. The gap to 6th place behind is now 2.4 seconds. The gap to Pablo behind is now 2.4. That was a 109.94. Sector 1 is 0.48 off the pace. The gap behind is now 2.8. P5. You're a 10th off in Sector 1. The gap to Pablo behind is now 3.0. We need to find a 10th in Sector 2. There's an incident in turn 13. It looks like Hostler. The gap to Pablo behind is now 3.3. That last lap was at 109.59. The guy ahead is Hostler, car number 11. The gap to Pablo behind is increasing. It's now 3.1. Sector 1 is 0.30 off the pace. The gap to Pablo behind is now 3.3. That's half fuel. You've used half your fuel. That lap was at 109.72. Okay, Dennis, that's good consistency. Keep it up. The gap to Pablo behind is increasing. It's now 3.5 seconds.
I mean, just try and get the consistency. And like ultimate lap time doesn't really matter, but doesn't matter if you can do an 18.5 if you're running at 20.2 every other lap because you're making mistakes, you know? So
the gap to P6 behind is now 3.5. The track temperature's decreasing. It's now 31 Celsius. You're a tenth off the pace in sector 2.
and also when you get into the rhythm you start to find the consistency, time comes pretty much guaranteed. It's almost when you start to push less, you start to gain more speed.
The gap to Pablo behind is now 3.5 seconds.
I would say you're even just better off focusing on just getting used to the setup and not really worrying about lap times. Especially because, you know, the lap times you're going to do in that session will be different in pretty much every other session, so it's not super easy to compare, you know?
Sector 1 is 0.26 off the pace. The gap to 6th place behind is now 3.5 seconds. Sector 2 is 2/10 off the pace. The gap behind is now 3.5 seconds. That lap time was 109.82. The gap behind is now 3.6 seconds. Sector 1 time's okay. The gap to B6 behind is now 3.6 seconds. The gap to Pablo behind is now 3.5 seconds. Just done a 109.80. Sector 3 is 0.5 off the pace. The gap to B6 behind is now 3.4. The track temperature is falling. It's now 29 Celsius. The gap behind is now 3.5. Sector 2 is 0.48 off the pace. gap to Pablo behind is now 2.9. That was 110.28. Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace. The gap behind is now 2.7. Sector 1 is quick. Pablo is reeling you in. The gap's now 2.9. The gap behind is now 2.7 seconds. Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace. That lap was at 109.64. The gap to Pablo behind is now 2.6. P6 is gaining on you. The gap's now 2.6. The gap to Pablo behind is now 2.7. Your last lap time was at 109.51. Sector 3 is 0.26 off the pace. The gap to Pablo behind is now 2.5 seconds. Sector 1 is 0.41 off the pace. The gap behind is now 2.5 seconds. Sector 2 is 0.2 off the pace. The leader, Rowden, is pitting. Okay Dennis, there's a car exiting the pit, heads up. The leader's just done a 109.18. The gap to Pablo behind is now 2.3 seconds. Half distance should be about 6 laps of fuel left. You've just done a 109.72. You're attacked off the pace in Sector 1. The gap in front is now 2.1 seconds. P4, your lap time was at 109.34. That's your best lap in this session. Sector 3 is 0.2 off the pace. The gap behind, right side. clear right. The guy in front is a lap behind. Sector 2 time is quick. The gap to Osler in front is now 2.0. Left side, clear left. Alright Dennis, you've got about 4 laps of fuel left, P3. You've just done a 110.23. The car in front of us is Marco, car number 7. Osler is now on alternates. Sector 2 is 2/10 off the pace. The track temperature is decreasing. It's now 27 Celsius. You're matching race pace. You're 2/10 off the pace in Sector 3. You've got about 3 laps of fuel left. That lap was a 109.27. The gap to Pablo behind is increasing. It's now 2.6 seconds. Sector 1 time is good, but Tolo is now on alternates. You're 2/10 off the pace in Sector 2. The gap to Pablo behind is now 2.9. The guy ahead's last lap time is a 109.27. The gap to Pablo behind is now 3.2 seconds. Only 2 more laps of fuel. We're quickest right now. That last lap was a 108.87. Sector 3 time's okay. The gap to Pablo behind is increasing. It's now 3.6. The gap to Pablo behind is now 3.5 seconds. The car ahead has just done a 109.07. The gap behind is now 3.5 seconds. We think you'll be out of fuel on the next lap. Sector 3 time is fast. That lap time was 109.31. The gap to Pablo behind is now 3.6. Okay, Dennis, come into the pits at the end of this lap. Box this lap. 2 litres left. Marco, ahead is pitting. Look out for the pit speed limit. When we exit the pits, we should be in position. Box in 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now. Marco is now on primaries. Front left, 79%. Rear left, 85. There's traffic on the exit, keep it tight. Pablo is now on alternates. Britt is now on alternates. Pit window for fuel will open on lap 65 and it should close on lap 71. The car in front is 2 laps behind. P4, right side's clear. The leader is now on alternates. Alright Dennis, come on, stay focused. Apexes and exits, apexes and exits. 6th place. Your engine temperatures are okay. All clear on engine temperatures. Sector 1 is 2.1, off the pace. Car left. Clear left. Car right. Right side's clear. Front is now 6.2. Your lap time was at 1:11.50. The guy in front is 1 lap behind. The gap ahead is now 6.3. Sector 2 time is okay. Gap 2, car left, clear left. Your reel-in sights in. The gap is now 5.8. Okay Dennis, we're matching race pace. That was 1:09.38. Right, the guy ahead of us is a lap behind. Reeling P5 in, the gap is 5.7. The guy behind has just done a 1:09.51.
Alrighty.
Sector 2 is 0.45 off the pace. You're reeling P5 in. The gap's now.
Probably
There's an
can make
incident
that
in
work.
the carousel. Looks like it's Sindel. Incident in turn 13. You think it might be Sindel. You're reeling sights in. The gap's now 5.2 seconds. You've just done a 109.44. Sector 2's 2/10
From
off the pace.
what time to what time? By the way, just maybe message me that on Discord just so I can then use that information when making
You're reeling
a
P5 in. The gap is now 4.9 seconds. Sixth place. Sector 2 time is good. Okay, Dennis, you're reeling sights in. The gap is 4.5. The track temperature's rising. It's now 29 Celsius. You're reeling P5 in. The gap is now 4.4 seconds. Your last lap time was at 109.29. Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace. To sights in front is now 4.1 seconds.
Okay, that should be manageable.
Sector 2's 2/10 off the pace. You're reeling sights in. The gap's now 3.7 seconds. Okay, Dennis, you're reeling sights in. The gap is 3.5 seconds. That was at 108.90. You're reeling P5 in. The gap is now 3.2. You're reeling sights in. The gap's now 2.7. You're reeling sights in. The gap is 2.4 seconds. That lap time was 109.00. Sector 3 is 0.49 off the pace. The gap to P5 ahead is now 2.2. You're a tenth off the pace in Sector 1. You're 2/10 off the pace in Sector 2. You're reeling P5 in. The gap's now 1.4. The gap to sights ahead is now 1.3. The lap time was 108.94. The gap to sights in front is now 1.0 seconds. On your left. Clear left. Sector 2 is 0.37 off the pace. You're reeling sights in. The gap is 0.8. Okay, Dennis, you're reeling P5 in. The gap is now 0.6. That lap was at 109.40. Sector 3 is 0.45 off the pace. You're reeling sights in. The gap is now 0.44. Sector 1 is 0.25 off the pace. Car left. Clear left. Sector 2 is 0.27 off the pace. The guy in front is one lap behind. The driver in front's reputation isn't great. Sector 3 is 0.33 off the pace. You've just done at 109.33. Okay, Dennis, you've got half your fuel left. The gap to sights behind is increasing. It's now 1.1. B6. Alright, Dennis, the next car is a lap behind. You're a tenth off in sector 1. You're reeling sights in. The gap is 8.8 seconds. You're reeling sights in. The gap's now 8.6 seconds. That lap was at 109.17. Sector 2 is 0.38 off the pace. now 8.4. You're a tenth off the pace in sector 1. We've had a cut warning. Keep it tidy, please, Dennis. We need to find a tent in sector 2. The gap to sights ahead is now 8.4. The track temperature is increasing. It's now 31 Celsius. The gap to sights ahead is now 8.3 seconds. The gap to P5 ahead is now 8.2.
Can't about this to spin, but I'm still in battle for a top 5, so let's go for it.
Pit window is open. When we exit the pits, we'll be in P12. You're a tenth off the pace in sector 2. Marco is now on alternates. The gap to P7 behind is now 13 seconds. P6, that lap was at 109.45. Sector 3 is 0.5 off the pace. Sector 1 is 0.48 off the pace.
Thank you.
P5, that was 109.49. Sector 1 is 0.48 off the pace. You're 2 tenths off the pace in Sector 2. Sector 3 is 0.35 off the pace. Your lap times are pretty consistent. Cat behind is pitting. The gap to Marco behind is increasing. It's now 3.5. You're 2 tenths off the pace in Sector 1. The gap to Marco behind is increasing. It's now 3.7 seconds. Sights in front is pitting. Sights ahead is pitting. There's an incident in turn 1. It looks like Haskell, you've got about 4 laps of fuel left. P4, you've just done a 109.29. The driver in front of us is Pablo, car number 9, C license. Sector 3 is 0.39 off the pace. Marco is reeling you in. The gap's now 3.5 seconds. We estimate 3 laps of fuel left. That lap time was 109.58. Sector 3 is 0.5 off the pace. The gap to Marco behind is now 3.9.
Let's use some push fast, see if we can get a bit of an overcut on the other guy. The guy just boxed last lap.
Sector 2 time is quick. The gap behind is now 3.9 seconds.
Bit of a moment there, but it's all good.
The gap behind is now 3.3. 2 laps of fuel remaining. That lap time was 109.57. On clear right. Kelly is pitting from P14. We think he'll come out just in front. The gap to Marco behind is now 3.7. Okay, Dennis, the next car is 7 laps behind. The leader, Rowden, is pitting. Connor, car number 12, is now in the lead. Sector 2 is 2/10 off the pace. The leader is now on alternates. The gap behind is now 3.8. The gap to P5 behind is now 4.2 seconds. This is the last lap of fuel. The lap time was 109.24. Sector 1 time is good. Sector 2 is 2/10 off the pace. Sector car right. Clear right. The gap to Marco behind is increasing. It's now 4.2 seconds.
Oh, that's a shame. I thought he had the pit. Well, that means we're running P5 on track, I guess. Well,
The
once
leader,
you pit,
Connor,
will
is
still be
pitting.
P5.
The next car is
Theory.
Rowden, car number 4, C license. There's an incident in Thunder Valley. Looks like it's Rowden in this lap, box this lap, P4. There's an incident in turn 10. It looks like Rowden. Watch your speed limit in the pits. Box in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now.
Second time out of 3 pit stops I've done that.
Left front 65%. Left rear 67. Rowden behind is pitting now. Rowden behind is pitting. There's traffic approaching. Watch your mirrors.
Does that mean I'm P4 now?
Okay, Dennis. The next car is Brit, car number 2, and their rating is 2.7. Incident in turn 4. We think it might be Pavel. Incident in Madness. It looks like Pavel. Car right. Clear right. next car is 1 lap behind. Okay, Dennis, the next car is Marco, car number 7. Hopkins is pitting from P12. Expect him to come out a bit behind you. Your engine temperatures are now back to normal. The lap time was at 109.55. Good consistency. Keep them coming. Gap to P5. Behind is increasing. It's now 2.1. So car number 1 behind is increasing. It's now 2.9. The gap to P5 behind is now 2.9. The car behind's pitting now. That's the fastest lap. You've just done a 108.30. Your times are good in all 3 sectors. Cut the track. Keep it nice and tidy. P5 is now on alternates. The gap behind is now 16 seconds. Alright Dennis, you're reeling Marco in. The gap is 19 seconds. The gap ahead is now 19 seconds. Gap to Marco ahead is now 19 seconds. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 1. The gap in front is now 19 seconds.
Oh. It's unfortunate. Nothing I can do at this point, really. On lap, on what lap, by the way?
That was at 109.50. Sector 3 is 0.27 off the pace.
Okay, so 76, so 10 laps ago.
Car ahead is Pablo, car number 9, C license. Pablo in. The gap's now 8.9 seconds.
Nothing's really happening right now. Just doing the last 14 laps of the race in P4.
Thank you.
You're reeling Pablo in. The gap's now 8.7. You've just done a 109.71.
As you can hear from
Sectors
the
1 and 2
crew
are 2/10 off the pace.
I
2/10
nearly
off the
just
pace in
crashed.
Sector 3. The stewards have warned us for cutting the track. Keep it between the white lines.
I am up to 13 incident points.
The gap to Pablo ahead is increasing. It's now 10 seconds. The gap in front is now 10 seconds.
That would explain why I went from 3 viewers to 1 viewer all of a sudden. Probably when the stream froze, I guess.
The gap to P3 in front is now 10
Although the
seconds.
viewer count on my thing isn't very
You're 2/10 off the pace
trustworthy,
in
but
Sector
still.
1.
It would make sense.
The gap to P3 ahead is now 10 seconds. The gap to P3 ahead is increasing. It's now 11 seconds. Your last lap time was at 109.37. The gap ahead is now 10 seconds.
Got 10 more laps after this one. Nothing really to happen, I think. No real chance to move forward unless something happens. No real chance to have to defend if nothing happens.
The gap to Pablo ahead is now 10 seconds. The gap to Pablo in front is now 10 seconds. That last lap was at 109.30. Sector 3 is 0.40 off the pace. The gap in front is now 10 seconds. Sector 1 is 0.26 off the pace. Okay, Dennis, the next car is 3 laps behind. The gap to Pablo. There's an incident in the carousel. It looks like it's Sindel.
I don't think that's relevant for me. Pretty sure. Pretty sure the guy
There's
who
an incident in
just
turn
said his
1.
bunch
You think it
laps
might
now.
be Rowden and Sindel. The gap to Pablo ahead is increasing. It's now 11 seconds. You've used half your fuel. That lap was at 110.00. The gap in front is now 11 seconds. The gap to Pablo ahead is now 11 seconds. The gap to Pablo ahead is now 11 seconds. That lap was at 109.43. The gap to Pablo in front is now 11 seconds. Sector 2 is 2/10 off the pace. Alright Dennis, you're reeling Pablo in. The gap is 10 seconds. You're reeling Pablo in. The gap is now 10 seconds. That lap was at 109.11. Gap to P3 ahead is now car right, there's in the carousel. It looks like cat, clear right. Sector 1 time's okay. You're reeling Pablo in. The gap is now 9.1 seconds. Sector 3 time is quick. We're currently setting the pace. You've just done at 108.72. Okay Dennis, you're reeling P3 in. The gap's now 8.8 seconds. You're a tenth off the pace in Sector 1. The next car is one lap behind. You're reeling P3 in. The gap is 8.4 seconds. The gap in front is now 8.4. Sector 3 time is fast. That was 109.06.
I think iRacing being open for too long messes with the
gap in front
encoder or
is
something. 'Cause
8.5.
like doesn't usually happen even if I stream for like 5 hours as long as I'm jumping between races. As soon as I'm staying in one race for a long time, something like this almost always happens. Well, not almost always, but it's a lot more common in this type of situation.
The gap ahead is now 8.2 seconds.
I mean, that's my theory at least. Because, like, you know, we did the 5-hour stream earlier and this didn't happen. This hasn't even been going for 2 hours and it's happened. And it's not like it's like a graphically demanding track either.
Just done a 109.
I've been chilling above 80 FPS or so above 60 at least for pretty much the whole race. I probably need a way to kind of quickly, you know, reset it, refresh it, whatever it might be, because there's gotta be a way to, like, without restarting the stream, get OBS to reset itself or something.
Okay, Dennis, you're reeling Pablo in. The gap is now 5.5.
We're coming up on 3 laps to go.
You're reeling P3 in. The gap
I do,
is
yeah.
5.3.
James, don't get close to me, please. Thank you.
Your last lap time was at
Held together by
109.63.
dangerous
Sector
amounts
three
of
is
tape
0.31
and super glue,
off the
but
pace.
yes. And some wire as well.
You're reeling P3 in. The gap's now 4.9. Sector 2's 2/10 off the pace. You're reeling P3 in. The gap's now 4.5 seconds. The gap to Pablo
Laps to
ahead
go.
is now 4.6. 2 to go. That lap time was 109.13.
I use a headset. I have a Steel Series.
The gap to P3
Headset.
in front is now 4.3.
For audio, you mean, right?
Car right. Clear right. You need to find a tent in sector 2. Alright, Dennis, you're reeling Pablo.
Yeah, I have
Gap
a
is
Steel
now
Series headset.
3.2.
We're going on to the last lap. I've gained a bunch of time on the
You're
guy in
reeling
front,
P3
but it's not
in.
going to
The
be
gap
enough.
is 2.8 seconds. White flag, one more lap. You've just done a 108.86. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 1. You're reeling P3 in. The gap is now 2.6 seconds. Sector 2 time, right side. Clear right.
Nova
P4.
7.
And there's the finish.
Arctis,
Good result,
Nova
mate.
7.
Well done.
Oh yeah, is it the same one? I don't know.
Good race, everyone. Thanks, Kevin. That was a good race.
Yeah, good race, Anthony too. You keep me,
P4, starting
you
from
keep me,
P17,
don't sleep
spinning
until
twice
the
throughout
race.
the whole race and only
Well done.
3.8 seconds off of a podium. I'll take that.
Yeah, it's nice to get a race where you find someone that you can have a battle with, so thanks for that.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, one or two mistakes, too much. But you deserve.
Watch your speed limit in the pits. Box in 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now. Front left, 71%.
I don't
Front
know.
right, 80%. Left
I
rear,
guess
77%.
when he's probably
right
just
rear, 79%.
newer generation, I don't know. That was a lot of fun. Wow. My shoulder hurts though. That's not good.
That's the end of the session.
Bears. I don't know. I bought this one because my old headset broke like 2 days before 24 Hours of Daytona. This was the best I could get within the time frame I needed. So I just got this from like a local electronics store at the time, and then I got it same day delivery because it was like I think my headset broke maybe the day before the race or something like that. I I try to keep mine in like above 50% or whatever green LED light means. Okay, now let's see if I can get this stream to come back to life. I don't think so, but First, I should open the stream up somewhere so I can have a reference point to see if it's changing anything. Because I think my preview is also blocked. I mean, I like to think I charge them when they're just off the green, so into the yellow. Uh, but most of the time I just stop playing, forget, and end up having to wait for it to get to red, and then I do actually charge them. Okay, so if I do this, does that? Oh, okay, this is that. Oh, okay. Maybe I can do. Yeah, this just doesn't work at all, but that's fine by me. Yeah, well, mid stint, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, that's not ideal. Although to be fair, the battery on this headset is super long, so I've had it like I think it was on yellow from like Monday until yesterday. That no issue at all. Yeah, that was also one of the reasons I got it is because I used to have a wired headset because I was like, I mean, I'm always sitting down. There's no point in spending the extra money for wireless. But when I've already have the VR headset wire running down my head, it getting one less wire does actually make a little bit of a difference. So when I saw it had super long battery life, I was like, well, why not? Might as well. I mean, yeah, for me, since this headset I only use for my gaming stuff, I just and it's mostly sitting down. I don't really care. But actually, to be fair, when I do play other games and sometimes in between matches, running around or moving around, I did that too. But most of the time I was okay. Alright. Trying to see if there's any way I can reset all of the whole stream without having to restart it. Headset mic, yep. That was also one of the things the reasons why I ended up getting this and not something a bit cheaper is because I was like, well, might as well get the mic was really good and I mean in the SteelSeries app, I have some configurations. I don't remember what it is, but I remember I tested a few things and it made it better. So I also have to try and not make it too sensitive because otherwise you'll just hear my fat ass breathing. So okay. I yeah, I would assume so. I don't remember how much I paid for mine, to be honest. Okay, right. So what they say online is that I should disable hardware acceleration. I don't think it's on, but we'll see. So I mean, it's a good headset. It's just probably not the newest hardware around, I guess. Back alive now? Yes. So I mean, to be fair, that fixes it. And now I'm listening to my own voice. That is not nice. Oh, I got the fastest lap. That's pretty cool. No clue. Let me have a look. Oh no, no, actually, yeah, I do know what this is. I guess it's just their. It costs a lot of. Oh, I can do that with my headset. I don't have the little mixing box, but I can do it. I've done it sometimes when I'm on like a call on my phone, but I'm playing a game. I sometimes do that. Okay, that I don't have. How do you, yeah, I was gonna say, how do you swap noise reduction? What does that even mean? Same here. But yeah, I am going to go to sleep now. Let me just see if anyone said anything in Discord. Had a, it's been a decent while since I last had this little freeze thing issue. So uh, don't know. I'll have to ask. Haven't asked yet. I mean, I'll just do that now quickly. I'll put something in the Spot24 chat. This is peak. Oh, peak Discord more activities right now. Yeah. it's also good in a way because it doesn't feel like you're bugging people as much. You're just sending out a message into the universe and hoping that the people who need to see it and answer it do so. It's been a while since I've actually put together a 24-hour race. Sometimes the bird does die on the way. Now we see if anybody says anything at all. Now isn't that just the most fun thing in the world? Okay, I was trying to click on my keyboard in a place where it just wasn't, so that's definitely some sort of mental illness. And what have I done? I've done Spa all 4 years, I think. I've done the N24 4 times. This year was the first time I haven't done it. Uh, Daytona, Daytona, I was going to say I've done it a couple of times. I don't think I've made it past halfway any of them, so. Or, well, yeah. It doesn't really count. What else? Uh, well, I did kind of do Le Mans once, but not really. Yeah, people crashing when you're asleep is the saddest thing ever. I remember one year we were leading Spa, we were P1, and then I went to sleep and I woke up, we were like P6. We were leading by a lap, yeah, and then someone spun it. So sad. But hey ho, it is what it is. Well, I mean, in the rain, it's. Or did you not have rain? Even without the rain. What car did you run, by the way? N24 is like. N24 is yeah, it's probably the toughest event to get through. Last year was probably like that's probably one of the only race I've ever done where I was like really kind of gutted about it because we were only a three-man team. One of the guys had a was recovering from a broken arm, so at one point he just couldn't drive anymore, and then basically we got to like the 20-hour mark or 22-hour mark or something, and I had to go away to do something. I had to go like to a lunch or something. And the guy who jumped out before me, obviously, like he did 5 hours in a row. He's not gonna jump in 3 hours again after that to do another five. So we're just hoping the other guy would come back. But unfortunately, I think he was pretty passed out on pain meds. So I was not ideal. So we had to retire with like 2 hours to go in podium position in Porsche Cup because for some reason we like to suffer like that. Yeah, the Nordschleife, like, especially once you get later into the race, just do things that don't make any sense because it looks all the same, so you don't think about it sometimes. You just reacted react like a yeah, just react to things in very strange ways. I remember one year we had a guy in the N24 team who got confused what part of the track he was in at night and crashed into the wall when we were fighting for a decent position. But yeah, shiz happens, I guess. That's nice. Really nice. I was doing something. What the fuck was I doing? That's what I was doing. Ah, I see. We all have moments. I used to, for like a solid year, I would especially if I had to do night stints like graveyard stints, I would almost always like I wouldn't fall asleep, but I would get so close that I would end up like driving on the grass, scraping a wall, but never actually wrecking the car. Just having like millimeters from disaster multiple times on some races, but never actually wrecking it and somehow keeping decent pace. So I really don't know what how that was happening, but there was one year at Le Mans where I'm going down the straight and I just start veering off. I scrape against the wall. I like get woken up or at least a little bit shocked, and I just go back like nothing happened. But one of my teammates was watching, so he realized. This is already after losing the license, so this was when they used to have, so you see the 6 hour series, the Global Endurance Tour. They don't have it this year, like not an official one. I mean, they had majors, which is an official, and it's you have to pay an entry fee, but yeah, the where is it? This series that runs 6 hour races now. Usually they would do it so that in season three, so the season we're in now, you'd have all of them would be 24-hour races, and Le Mans would be one of them. So that's how they would have their 24 hours of Le Mans after losing the license. But this year they didn't do it, so I'm assuming motorsports games aren't very happy with that specific little idea, especially now that LMU is starting to be a proper thing. Maybe they said no more. But yeah, Le Mans is my like that's the one I want to do the most, but unfortunately there's no official one and I'm not there's unofficial ones, but the biggest one is majors and it's pretty steep entry fee. I think but 24-hour racing LMU working properly at least is still decent while away, which is sad. I would definitely do it in LMU. LMU is really fun. I haven't been on it for a while now, but it is a really fun game. Yep. I mean, the fact that they're able to get all the cars that they're able to get so quickly and they're still, the issue isn't the content. The issue is just the base game is still way too buggy and way too many issues. Because if they could just make a game that was a lot more playable, even if it didn't have as many flashy features or even if it didn't get content as quickly, I think it would actually. They did, but isn't it like super broken? I heard it was like very broken at the start. I don't know if they fixed it yet, but I heard it was broken at the start, which doesn't surprise me because they barely work and they have always barely worked on R Factor 2. So yeah, but I mean, I saw that they said like first week they already delayed their first big driver swap event because they were having issues with it. Apparently, I don't know. Could be wrong. Am I still in the LMU Discord? No. That's interesting. Why am I not in the LMU Discord anymore? That's a very good question.